For most new hires, the first week at a company is a heavily orchestrated performance. There are welcome lunches, personalized emails, and signed checklists. But this carefully choreographed sequence often serves as an illusion, masking a severe, long-term void in employee development. Right around day 91, the structured support systems quietly disappear. The new hire portals shut down, the automated check-ins stop, and the employee experiences a sudden, complete drop-off in communication. This timeline tracks the standard corporate onboarding model. You see high developmental activity in the first 90 days, followed by a sudden plunge into a flatline labeled business as usual. In reality, this flatline represents an organization abandoning proactive development. The consequences of this drop-off are immediate and measurable. Up to 20% of employee turnover occurs in the first 45 days, and replacing a first-year departure costs an average of $14,000. These static HR practices are colliding with a rapidly accelerating skills gap. The World Economic Forum estimates that 39% of the core skills required in today's jobs will be entirely different by 2030. The core architectural flaw here is a misalignment of objectives. Traditional onboarding optimizes for making someone feel welcome in week 1. It completely ignores the mechanics required to scale their capability over the next 10 years. To bridge that gap, we have to look at the lower track on this chart, Everboarding. This is a continuous, lifelong learning ecosystem. Instead of a 90-day checklist, it embeds overlapping developmental milestones directly into the employee's workflow for years. When an organization fails to bridge the day 91 cliff, it takes its massive talent acquisition budget and actively converts it into an engine for organizational decay and skill leakage. The first major bottleneck in traditional development happens on the front lines. Line managers are forced to act as the primary triage center for every minor logistical, technical, and cultural question a new hire generates. This chart visualizes that question tax. The majority of the manager's capacity is consumed by low-level triage, explaining procurement systems and locating brand guidelines. This effectively paralyzes their ability to perform high-level strategic coaching. The Everboarding model solves this by introducing peer buddies. These peers act as a structural relief valve. They absorb the administrative and cultural inquiries, which directly expands the manager's bandwidth for actual performance development. Microsoft tested this enterprise-wide, and the correlation is direct. New hires who met with a designated buddy at least 8 times in their first 90 days reported a 97% lift in productivity. When this peer relationship scales into formal mentorship, it drives outcomes that impact the bottom line. Mentored employees achieve promotion at 5 times the rate of their peers, and retention rates sit 23 points higher. But offloading the triage is only the first layer of efficiency. The second layer requires acknowledging that a senior engineer joining from a competitor and a junior associate fresh from university cannot be pushed through the exact same training funnel. Here, L&D teams apply marketing-grade data segmentation. These are learner personas. By mapping unique starting baselines, motivations, and communication preferences, HR teams can build custom developmental scaffolding for distinct profiles. Matching the correct buddy architecture and learning modules to a specific persona prevents the deep alienation that comes from generalized, one-size-fits-all corporate onboarding. By combining peer triage with customized learning paths, Everboarding buys back the line manager's calendar. It structures the environment so managers can actually lead, rather than merely administrate. The second structural failure in modern talent development is one of visibility. Learning and development teams and frontline managers typically operate in complete data silos. The statistical fallout is severe. Line managers control 70% of team engagement, yet fewer than 15% of employees report that their manager has the necessary data to help them build a career plan. Fixing this requires abandoning archaic, list-based course catalogs in favor of interconnected skills taxonomies.
This visualization represents a shared skills data platform. For the first time, both the L&D department and the frontline manager can look at the exact same operational picture of an employee's verified capabilities. This shared visibility takes the individual development plan, usually a forgotten document, and transforms it into a dynamic engine for internal mobility. The system connects current skills directly to open projects. Unilever's Flex Talent Marketplace and Schneider Electric's internal platforms successfully execute this model. They utilize shared data to seamlessly redeploy internal capability across business units, drastically reducing the need for external hiring. IBM applies this capability data directly to predictive retention models. By tracking these capability signals, predictive analytics can successfully identify flight risks with a reported 95% accuracy. Management can intervene and offer new, highly targeted development pathways long before the talent decides to resign. Salesforce leverages a unified platform approach, ensuring that managers and employees navigate the exact same skill-based environment without friction. Software is only part of the solution. It is the symmetry of data between managers and L&D that turns abstract career goals into a sequence of precise, evidence-based business decisions. Even with perfect data and mentor matching, the system requires a specific cultural substrate to operate. This is the third and most difficult pillar to engineer. Organizations frequently treat tenured employees as high-cost maintenance burdens. In reality, these individuals are the company's only renewable source of institutional memory and operational context. Formal communities of practice and structured feedback loops extract this tacit knowledge. By regularly interviewing senior staff about their early friction points, the organization continuously refines the onboarding system for the next cohort. Development must be multidirectional. This is where reverse mentoring becomes a critical tool, deliberately disrupting traditional top-down corporate hierarchies. While the practice is gaining traction now, General Electric pioneered reverse mentoring as a proven executive tool back in the 1990s. Pairing junior employees with senior executives directly targets leadership blind spots. It effectively upskills the executive tier on emergent technologies like generative AI and exposes them to shifting generational expectations. This diagram represents the completed architecture. Peer buddies absorb the triage, managers and L&D provide the data symmetry, and tenured staff supply the cultural context. They all feed into the new hire, and the new hire's feedback loops back out to sharpen the system. A true learning culture circulates knowledge in all directions. It builds an ecosystem that becomes systematically smarter and more adaptable every time someone joins the company. The rapid arrival of artificial intelligence in corporate HR acts as the ultimate forcing function. It quickly exposes and penalizes weak organizational structures. AI cannot fix a broken culture. It only accelerates the data pipelines and mentorship networks that an organization has already built. Right now, only 36% of companies qualify as career development champions. These are the organizations that have successfully institutionalized the Everboarding framework. Champions are 92% more likely to innovate, 52% more productive, and carry 30% lower turnover. Contrast this return with the cost of inaction. A fragmented approach guarantees higher turnover and hundreds of billions in lost productivity. Treating onboarding as a finalized foundation is a critical accounting error. The building is never finished. Stopping development at day 91 guarantees structural failure. Furthermore, the incoming majority of the global workforce, Generation Z and Millennials, do not view continuous structural development as a perk. They explicitly demand it as a condition of their employment. In an era where technology rewrites job descriptions in real time, the speed at which your people learn is your only sustainable competitive advantage. Everboarding is the only architecture built to match that speed.